Hi everyone. Okay. I am going to be going over the long. Okay, you guys know about. I'm going to be going over the Iowa Tribe's Folk Rehab and Transition application. So, those of you who are tribal and may not be getting assistance either yet or be needing it and don't know what you need to do, I'm going to let you know what all is on the application so you can know what you need to do to get ready and everything. So you'll be aware. Because sometimes just kind of a headache and you're just like, what do I need to be have ready and stuff. Okay, the required documents checklist. So let's have all the little checklist. The proof of identification. So we've got to have the driver's license, the state issue ID. Then we've got to have the proof of income, and this includes for all of the family members, Social Security or VA award letter, copy of benefit checks, DHS SNAP or I think it's TANF printout, copy of check stubs, must include dates of employment and total gross wage for the month. Okay. Letter from the employer must be on employer letterhead or notarized. Notarized statement of support. Gas, oil, land lease documents. Unemployment benefit letter. Child support income. Alimony papers. Okay. Proof of Indian descent. Tribal membership card from any federally recognized tribe. Letter of descent from tribal organization. Then you need your Social Security card. Then you need proof of mailing residential verification. Must match the address on application. Utility bill, print receipt or rent receipt, copy of lease, notarized statement of residency, proof of disability, doctor's statement and or school assessment records, discharge papers if recently incarcerated, medical records with diagnosis or disability, copies if applicable, high school transcript or general education development GED, certificate if applicable, financial aid report from free application for federal student aid FAFSA for the current year, financial need analysis FNA form completed and signed by institution's financial aid office, any tribal higher education award denial letters. Okay, and what I didn't read, what I didn't read before starting reading any of this, at the very, very, very top before the required documents checklist, it says at least one form of documentation from each category is required. So I guess not everything is required. So you need at least one form of documentation. Each category is required. Application will not be considered complete until documentation is received. Then you're going to need to submit completed application to the Folk Rehab, and it gives address and stuff where you're going to need to send it to. And it gives like here where you're going to need to send it to, like your adult services, college VOTEC, and then transition, high school, junior, senior, and then you'll need employment info for last 3 jobs. Then you're going to need medical insurance information, list 3 people who will always know how to locate you, educational information or educational history. Are you willing to move if employment is another city? Answer is required. What is your disability and date it occurred? The answer is required. How does your disability keep you from working? That's required as well. How can the Iowa Tribe assist? How can the Iowa Tribe Vocational Rehabilitation Program assist you? What are your interests and hobbies? Appendix A, Rehabilitation Services Application. My signature to this document constitutes an application for the ITOVR services. To effect my rehabilitation, I authorize the release of confidential information from my case file to agencies or others who have adopted regulations for confidentiality. All information, both medical and personal, given or made available to the agency shall be held confidential. Use of such information will be limited to purposes directly connected with the administration of my rehabilitation program. All mandatory information is collected under the authority of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, as amended by Rehabilitation Amendments of 1972, Title 56. Failure to provide this information may prevent the rehabilitation agency from providing services in a timely manner. Information will not be disclosed to any agency or organization without my consent, written consent, or that of my parent, guardian, or representative as applicable. Appendix B, Statement of Income and Liabilities. Are you or a household member working full-time or part-time and earning money? You need to check yes or no. If yes, complete the following information, which needs employed person, employment, monthly take-home pay. Do you have transportation if necessary for training or employment? And you check yes or no. Appendix C, Statement of Legal History. Have you been convicted? Have you ever been convicted for a crime? Exclude convictions that have been sealed, expunged, or legally eradicated. I forgot how that's pronounced. And misdemeanor convictions for which probation was completed and the case dismissed. You can check yes or no. If yes, please describe the nature of the crimes and the date and place of conviction and the legal disposition of the case. This program will not deny services for any consumer because the person has been convicted of a crime. The program, however, may consider the nature, date, and circumstances of the offense, as well as whether the offense is relevant to the duties and goals of the IPE you will develop with your counselor. Are you currently on bail, the subject of your current warrant for arrest, or released on your own reconnaissance pending trial? And you check yes or no. If yes, briefly describe your current situation below. I certify that this information I have given is true, correct, and complete to the best of my knowledge. I agree to notify my rehabilitation counselor within 20 days if I have changes in my living arrangement, address, income, bank accounts, automobiles, property of any kind, expenses, or needs. I understand that information I have given will be carefully studied and that I may be asked to provide proof of the answers given. I further understand that any false statements makes me subject to prosecution for fraud. I hereby authorize the Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma Vocational Rehabilitation Program to make any necessary investigation to verify information I have given. When this form is returned, the ITVOVR will review the information and discuss the services that can be provided and determine the amount of financial participation. Appendix D, other authorization for release of information you need to provide a consumer. It gives you the address for return. Put an X on the appropriate authorization and complete blank with the individual school, hospital, agency, or agency. And it says, I hereby authorize blank to release to the Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma Vocational Rehabilitation Program the following information that you have pertaining to the consumer listed above. Another one, I hereby request and authorize the Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma Vocational Rehabilitation Program to release to blank the following types of information which pertains to the consumer listed above. Please mark appropriate box and initial. This consent is subject to written revocation at any time except to the extent that action has been taken thereon, such as school transcripts, other academic information, psychological testing, psychiatric evaluations, behavioral health records, reports, medical records, reports, hospital records. Let's see what text I got. Individual plan of employment records, financial information, see what. Okay. Oklahoma Department of Rehabilitation Services, Substance Abuse Treatment Program, and other. And then it has optional release of information will expire without express revocation on blank. Then it has a place for signature and then a signature of witness. And you must have signature of witness for consent to be valid and acceptable. Iowa Tribe Vocational Rehabilitation Program is general health checklist. You have to have your full name, case number, counselor, date of birth, height, and weight. Please circle yes or no if you have any of the following symptoms or conditions. And then you have to check yes or no if it's kept you from working. A disorder of eyes, ears, nose, or throat, frequent dizziness, fainting, headaches, seizures, convulsions, paralysis or stroke, a mental or nervous disorder, persistent coughing, bronchitis, asthma, emphysema, tuberculosis, or other disorder of the lungs, chest pain, high blood pressure, rheumatic fever, murmur, heart attack, or other disorders of the heart or blood vessels, intestinal bleeding, ulcer, hernia, colitis, other disorder of the stomach, intestines, liver, or gallbladder, disorder of kidneys, bladder, prostate, or reproductive system, diabetes, thyroid, or other endocrine disorders, arthritis, or other disorders of the muscles or bones, including spine, back, or joints, absence of amputation of any body part, loss of use of arms or legs or other body parts, a tumor, cancer, or disorder of the lymph glands, allergies, I don't know if I can pronounce this word, anemia, or other disorder of the blood, excessive use of alcohol or any habit-forming drugs, any other physical or mental condition. If you answered yes to question 16, please specify. Okay, continued. Name and address of your personal physician clinic. Please answer these questions for any conditions marked yes on the previous page. Have you been or are being treated for any of these conditions? Check yes or no. If yes, which conditions? Have you been hospitalized for any of these conditions? Check yes or no. If yes, under what conditions? Are you taking any medications? Check yes or no. Then you get to list the medications. Do you have any restrictions from these conditions? Check yes or no. And then you get to list the restrictions. That's always fun. To the best of my knowledge, what I have yet said is true, and I have not withheld any information. Then you get the data and sign it. Person who provided information, if not applicant, they get to sign it. And then there's certification of eligibility for, federal assistance in certain programs. And then you get to read this whole thing and then sign it. It says, I understand 34 CFR 75.60, 0.75.61, and 75.62 require that I make certain specific certification eligibility to the U.S. Department of Education as a condition of applying that for federal funds in certain programs, and that these requirements are in addition to any other eligibility requirements that the U.S. Department of Education imposes under program regulations. Under 34 CFR 75.60-75.62, I certify that I do not owe a debt, or I am incurrent in repaying a debt, or I am not in default, as that item used at 34 CFR Part 60668 on a debt. 1. To the federal government under no procurement transaction, example, a previous loan, scholarship grant, or cooperative agreement. 2. For a fellowship, scholarship, stipend, discretionary grant, or loan in any program of the U.S. Department of Education that is subject to 34 CFR 57.50, 75.61, and 75.62, including federal Pell Grant Program, 20 U.S. .107A, example, I think it's sequence or something, Federal Supplement Education Opportunity Grant Program, 20 U.S. 1070 something, State Stafford Incentive Grant Program, 20 U.S. 1070C, Federal Perkins Loan Program, 20 U.S. C 1087A something, Income Contingent Direct Loan Demonstration Project. I'm going to stop naming all these numbers. U.S. That gets to be a headache. And I'll start getting dizzy. Federal Stafford Loan Program, Federal Student Loans for Students, Federal Plus or Federal Consolidation Loan Program, Cuban Student Loan Program, Robert C. Byrd Honors Scholarship Programs, Jacob K. Javits Fellowship Program, Patricia Roberts Harris Fellowship Program, Krista McAuliffe Fellowship Program. Sorry for mispronouncing the last name. Bilingual Education Fellowship Program, Rehabilitation Long-Term Training Program, Paul Douglas Teacher Scholarship Program, Law Enforcement Education Program, Indian Fellowship Program. I have made arrangements satisfactory to the U.S. Department of Education to repay a debt as described in A.1 or A.2 on which I had not been current in repaying, or no, which I was in default. I certify, that was B. C, I certify also that I have not been declared by a judge as a condition of sentencing under Section 5301 of the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1988, ineligible to receive federal assistance for the period of this requested funding. I certify, or I understand that providing a false certification to any statements above makes me liable for repayment to the U.S. Department of Education for a fund received on the basis of the certification for civil penalties and for criminal prosecution under 18 U.S.C.1001. Maybe you only have 2 pages left to read. I'm getting dizzy now. Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma Voc Rehab Program. Certification of intent to pursue employment. I am applying for services with the Iowa Tribe of Oak Rehab Program. I understand I must have a documented physical or mental disability that causes an impediment to attaining and or maintaining gainful employment. I understand that in order to be eligible for this program and receive services, I must intend to work progressively towards maintaining suitable employment. I understand that all services provided by this program are for the sole purpose of retaining employment. I certify that it is my full intent to work with my rehabilitation counselor to establish an individualized plan of employment that will outline the goals and objectives I need to meet to obtain suitable employment. I understand that after I obtain employment, I will be expected to provide my rehabilitation counselor with information regarding the wages I am earning and address name earning name address and address of employer and the date of employment. I understand this information will not be used for statistical / reporting purposes. Will I'm just reading that. I understand that this information will be used for statistical / reporting purposes only. I understand that my personal information will not be revealed without my written permission. Then you give your signature and date, and your VR counselor will give their signature and date. And then the last one is, which I'm not going to go through and read all this because my poor little head. It gives consumer rights and remedies and consumer responsibilities, and then you'll sign it and your VR counselor will sign it. And I hope you enjoyed all that. So I hope everyone has a good day. I've got to go have some lunch. So that's what my headaches are going about for. I got to go have some lunch and get some water in me. So I hope everyone has a good day.